Hello, everyone. I'm Andrew Stephenson, the program specialist here at Marshall University, in charge of maintaining AOL records. And today we're talking about how to upload data into Ultranix. So first off, why are we making this change? This change helps us make data more accessible to the positions that need it. In case of turnover, or if somebody's gone on vacation or anything like that, the data is not locked up in somebody's email. It's not buried under a bunch of other emails. Anybody can access, not anybody, but the positions that need to access the AOL data can get to it fairly easily. It's also organized well within Qualtrics itself. So it's not buried in a downloads folder. And then it lowers the chance of missing items. In the survey that we are doing, it has a complete list of everything that you need to turn in. And it's a one stop shop, so to say. So you can't turn in your data unless you also turn in the items. This also lowers the probability of mistakes. Blackboard is a tricky thing. I've seen it mix up traits and flip things around. So by running through Qualtrics, everybody's doing the same survey. It is laid out exactly the same way as the rubrics, and it lowers the chance of swapping traits or switching the scale or anything like that. So it keeps mistakes from happening on all parties' part. One question that came up was, will all the assessments be doing this? Well, no. The assessments here are not going to be part of the survey simply because they don't fit the rubric profile. They're usually done by hand. Any like the HIN core knowledge test and practicum, those tests are on a different scale that I convert manually over. And then the practicum is a survey done by employers. Any kind of assessment that delivers you a data file, such as an external test or a simulator, those that you can just download the results and send those to me. Any assessment via Qualtrics, again, just download the file and send it to me. Any indirect data for surveys, again, just send that to me directly. We don't have to create a Qualtrics profile with, not profile, but a Qualtrics input for that. Sorry about that. Not to say that these cannot be uploaded to Qualtrics. If you are the professor in charge of these assessments and you're like, hey, I would really like to do it this way instead of emailing you because I'm afraid it's going to get lost in ether or anything like that, we can absolutely create something to help you on that front. It may not be with the rest of your program, so that's why it's not so many questions. For like example, if you want to upload a file and just upload a file, we could just create a separate link that says simulated data for MBA or HIN or whatever. And so when we send out the link, we'll have that link for everybody who uses standard rubric, and then another link for you just to upload your file so you don't have to go through all the other questions that are in there that aren't relevant. How will this be distributed? Along with your reminder of what you're supposed to assess, we'll also add the links to the emails that we'll be sending out. Now it is time for the demo. Please give me a moment while I switch screens. So here is what it will look like when you go into the Qualtrics screen. This is for the undergraduate AOL programs. There are 3 that are assessed using the same rubric. There is the accounting, BBA accounting, BA general business, and all other BBA majors. And as you can see, they'll have the abbreviation that we are using for the survey, and here are the collector. So when I say survey, it's interchangeable with collector in case that is an issue. We recommend that you do, if you want to do a numbering system, we recommend it being done such as how you're in the order you're entering students and by program. For example, if you have accounting students, you'll do accounting student 1, ACC 1, ACC 2, just put those on your rubrics. And this is for if anything needs to change on the back end, I can figure out which student you are talking about and change it relatively easy. Compared to, well, the 3rd, 4th student I entered or anything like that, I get to do the exact student. There are also instructions here about how to find what major your students are. I know that sometimes that you can't see your class lists in Milo. So MUBERT would be the best way to get that information. The instruction assignments you will also need, and 2 graded student samples. You can also take a picture of this at any time and then use it as a checklist before continuing on. Here's the definition of graded samples. Now, the graded samples, the grade you put on there is the grade for anything you're using in assessment. And also, it is based on what you're putting in Blackboard. It is not arranged with the rubric. So if they got like a 98 on the test, what you put in Blackboard is what there. And then the grade assessment is not grading. As my point on this one. Also, you can put it however you wish. It could be a PDF, it could be a picture, it could be a scan, whatever you feel comfortable, whatever's easiest, and you could just write it. You could print out the sample and write on it if that's what you prefer, as long as it's legible. Here is your little legalese warning about it's nothing legal. I promise it's technical. I just confirm that to legal stuff. So basically this warning is that you can stop this uploading at any time and then go back into it and then finish the assessment, data input. The only thing is you can only do 1 section at a time. So if you're doing LE 207, section 101, and you go back to the same computer you started on and say, oh, I'm taking a break from that. I want to start LE 308, section 202 or whatever it is. No, you have to finish LE 207, section 101. You will not be able to switch back and forth between that. If you have like questions or any errors, just you can contact me at wherever program specialist is. There's my email. You guys know my number by now. Here's the instructions from MUBERT. Here are the program descriptors. Only the undergraduate have these because there are 3. Some of the master programs do look at certificate students. So there will be a little bit of descriptions there. But yeah, this one's like ACC, what does that include? BA, what does that include? BBA, what does that include? And as you can see, it says last used on there. So I've used the same computer several times. I would double check that data. And you can always like change it. So if you're teaching like 3 sections of LE 207, you could just put that in and change the section number. What kind of class is this? We're going to say web. here's like your final check of like, hey, I have looked through everything. I know these are only undergraduate college of business students. And we're going to select critical thinking as a drop-down tab in case that doesn't show up on the share screen. A lot of these finding, choosing, or drop-down tabs. So we go to this screen. Only 24 students can be assessed for each program. That is for each section you are teaching, not each modality. That was one question that got brought up. So if you have 25 students in your class and they are all accounting students, you will only need to report 24 students. So in this example, I'm going to say there are 9, I'm going to say 9 BBA students in my class, and then only 2 accounting students in my class. And then I'm going to say I didn't have any general business students in my class at all. Then we're going to go to next. So we said 9, but there are only 8 students here. That is because the page is set in a way where it only shows 8 students per. The reason why we do 24 is because the best way to make this neat laid out without having it formatted differently is by doing it in groups of 8. Up here is the scale. Now we're going to go through here and give our students scores. And you can do that. You could type in using the number pad. You can tab over. But if you're just wanting to do one student at a time, I recommend not using the tab function. And then some of you may have already noticed the NA here is basically used if like assignments don't cover this trait very well or at all, then you can say, yeah, my assignment just didn't factor into that trait as well as I thought. So I'm just going to write NA for all that trait. Or if a student is physically unable to meet that trait, so the biggest one would be voice control for a nonverbal student, or eye contact for a blind student. Those are 2 examples I can think of. And that just gives you a reason to put something in because one's unfair in those situations, and we just didn't want to put 0 to confuse the matter. Okay, so all of our students are in. On this page, we're going to hit next. Here's our student 9. You still have the scale up here. And I'm going to finish this one out. And now we're over to our accounting students. We only put 2 accounting students in. And so we only have 2 files here. So we're going to fill these out. And again, you could just. Oh, I forgot one. So all of these are a forced response. Many of these questions are forced response. And it'll say which student the problem is, and you go through, you find whatever box that you looked over, or something happened, so you have to re-enter the student, however, whatever's necessary there. Then you go on. Now, because we said we had 0 general business students, it's not going to pop up a file for us. It's not going to drag us to another screen. Now, for here, we have an extra file space for graded samples. So for this, we did the extra file space, because some assessments require multiple files. I believe there's an accounting class that has like a Word file or PDF, which is the actual like students' written work, and then a Excel file to turn in as well. So for this, we're going to pick, I'll pick something random. In here, we're going to do my business cards. And I realized, oh, I put in the wrong file. So I'm going to go back and go to this one. And then look, the title's changed, everything else has worked out that way. Unfortunately, you can only add one file per question. That's why we added the extra file space. If there's some like an extra file or something you need to be added on that semester, just send it to me and we'll talk about it. Here we go again. I'm going to put in my business cards. Again, because I double clicked on that, it wanted to do that again. And then upload a copy of my instructions or how to make business cards for today. And here are our comment section. Now the comment section is for instructors to basically give us an identifier as to what might happen with the data from their class. Like, I changed my instructions, I am using a new software, I'm doing something new, so the data might not be in the same trend as last year, and that's perfectly fine. It can also be, something for us to watch for. Oh, this software works. What else can the software do for our program? And we might share or look into it, or anything like that. Or the assignment was transferred over to a web platform and it didn't translate as well to a web form asynchronous class. So for this one, I'm just going to put X. You have a lot of space for this. If you changed anything in your class, that's what this line is basically for. And then you're done. You get this, you have the ability to download this PDF, which is just a copy of everything you've done, including like the file names that you put in. And this is basically a receipt for you in case you want a copy of your data. And then another way of say this is, hey, can I have your data? No, you have the PDF right here. You can submit that if something ever went wrong with the Qualtrics file or anything like that. So it's a redundancy measure for sure. I am more than happy to go over these with anyone who needs help, or change Qualtrics when it's necessary for assessments or anything like that. If y'all have questions, please contact me down at the dean's office. My email again is Stephenson with a PH 44 @marshall.edu. Thank y'all for watching this video. Have a wonderful day.